Hey, vinyl community, Jeff here. I have a couple things to show. So, let's jump right into this. Back in 1991, there was a cassette released by a band that I guess got some attention. I don't know if I think I've heard about it over the years, but never have heard it. And, I guess it got somewhat of a cult following, whatever. But another one of those labels that reissues a lot of the great commercial, straightforward type metal of yesteryear, Dive Bomb Records, they reissued this. Now, it was only a, 5 or 6 song cassette, but I guess it was, had enough notoriety that they reissued it, and they added some bonus tracks. So I'm talking about a band called The Final Chapter. The really nice thing about that, well, I'll show the pictures here, but they reproduced the original cover, which was really more of a hand-drawn cover, and they put it beautifully on here. But so, Dive Bomb Records, they reissued the original handful of songs on the original cassette, plus one bonus demo track, plus a bunch of live tracks. So we got 16 tracks total. All right, good enough, right? Commercial, high soaring vocals. Somebody might compare them to a Queensryche sound, maybe, but not quite musically. Very decent. Obviously, lower budget recording, so it kind of sounds tinny at times. It kind of, but you can see the potential, and it was nice to have it, reissued, kind of as an anthology. Had all those demo tracks plus the live stuff. So this was a great reissue. So, however, because of this reissue, apparently from what I'm reading, because of the reissue and the resurgence in attention, all 4 of the original guys in the band got back together and brought us a new album just this year, The Final Chapter. I guess it doesn't have an actual, okay. So Let It Be Done. Oh, I get it. Ha ha. I just got it. It is written. So Let It Be Done. Epic U.S. heavy metal for fans of Queensryche, Sacred Warrior, Crimson Glory, Hitman, Recon. And I tell you what, I can't get this out of my CD player in my car. And no, that's not a literal thing. Yes, my old car, I got a CD stuck in it and it will never come out. But that car ended up having to have a lot of work done, and so I ended up buying a new car that has a CD player that works, and I put this in there and I've been cranking it. And I'm telling you what, one of the greatest comeback albums. You feel like it's not like a major label. It's also on Dive Bomb Records too, but so you get records, and nowadays you got a lot of bands that are self-produced, and so production can be here nor there, whatever. My gosh, this sounds so professional. It is so much of an improvement over the first. The first was good, and for the time frame it was really good, but there was you could tell they were young, they were in low budget. This is high quality all the way. Musical stylings, better songwriting skills, better the whole production. Anyway, The Final Chapter, Dive Bomb Records. You can find it pretty much anywhere, Amazon, places like that. I suggest getting this. It's just a solid metal type album. Again, there's some of that Queensryche in there, but it is just, the more I listen to it, the more intricate things I find in it. Great stuff. Check them out if you haven't. I hope there's some more from them, because I liked that first CD. It was like cool. It was nostalgic. It was nice to have, but again, sound quality was like, it wasn't something I was going to revisit a lot. But I tell you what, I have listened to this album over and over again, and I plan on leaving it in my car for a while until something better comes around. It's one of the best releases I've heard in a long time. Other than that, a couple vinyl releases that are reissues, first time on vinyl. Now, I will admit, I've heard the band's name, never listened to their music. Some of the things that I've heard about them, you just hear and you make assumptions, and I assumed it was going to be one of those thrash type bands that's got the monster vocals that I don't like. I really like thrash metal, but it's got to be more of a clean vocal. I like, the thrash metal stylings of, bands like Anthrax and stuff, more melodic. and even some of the more gritty stuff, but I don't like, the death metal type thrash or the really harsh vocals. So I just never gave this band the time of day. I've seen their newer albums. I've seen people show them. I've heard them talked about. And to me, I just throw them in that bucket of probably too heavy for me to really enjoy for very long. So I've been notified, hey, a couple of their old albums are getting reissued on vinyl for the first time. You need to check them out. So said Scott Waters. And yeah, because he's working on the graphics for these. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll check them out. So I went online, and before these came out, went online and checked out a couple tracks on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, okay, they're actually right in that sweet spot, just getting to the border of a little harsher than I go, but still in the sweet spot. So I pre-ordered them, and they came in this week, and we're talking about the band Accuser. Now, again, I don't have any history with them, didn't know anything about them, no history. So interesting what they put out. So the band, according to what I'm seeing, they came out in the late 80s, 87-ish. They put out albums all the way up until this was a 94 release. They had a 95 release, and then I guess disappeared, and then came back 15 years later, 2010. And so anyway, so this is their 1994. So this would have been right before the last album, before it seemed like they disappeared, Reflections. And it is your standard reissue on black. It's got the lyric sheet. Got the insert there. It's on Brutal Planet Records. First time, as it says, first time on vinyl. So it was nice because you've got this from the 90s, went right before the band kind of went on hiatus. And then the other one released was from 2011. Dependent Domination, also first time on vinyl. So here we are, and then you jump forward, 17 years from the other one. It also is on black. Inserts. Just top notch all around. Just great stuff. Anyway, so it's nice because, again, you got a 17-year gap between these two albums, so you can kind of get a feeling for, okay, kind of what they were sounding like in the 90s before they kind of went away, and then they come back. 2011 album here, and again, they've got new albums out up until a couple years ago. I mean, 2013, 2016, 18, I've seen people, showing the newer stuff, so they're still plugging away. It's got that, you kind of get that feel for that German thrash sound. The German metal sound has that certain styling that, and it falls into that category. But it's very just breakneck speed thrash, but it's not super aggressively harsh vocals. So I just have been blown away. And I tell you, I dropped the needle, and it is just, the pressing is wonderful, so quiet. Pop it on, and then all of a sudden you get bombarded by this an intense sound. I've been cranking it for the past couple of days since they came in, and loving it. So if you're not familiar with that, Brutal Planet Records limited run vinyl editions that have only probably only a couple hundred. I don't know the exact number, but you're gonna want to grab these. I believe I know there are more coming, because I think there's also, some other CD versions of stuff too. So they're gonna start reissuing some more of the catalog from this band, as long as these do well. So go out and grab them, because they are very well done and they sound very good. And if you're into thrash metal, you're going to love this. That's it for now, though. Thanks for watching. I will be back to share more. Rock on and rock hard.